Well, welcome back. Former President Trump's arraignment is scheduled for this afternoon, 2:15 p.m. Eastern. Yahoo News is reporting that Trump will face more than 30 felony counts, including a falsification of business records count. But he will not be put in handcuffs or have a mugshot taken, according to Yahoo News. Obviously, the only way Yahoo News could get such a report is Alvin Bragg's office is leaking it. Joining me right now is former Acting U.S. Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. Matt, thanks very much for weighing in. Nobody has seen the indictment. It's under seal. Trump's attorneys haven't seen it. And yet Yahoo News seems to have all of the details. How does that happen?
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, to your point, it's coming from Alvin Bragg's office or it's coming from the grand jury. But the detail, how we know it's coming from Alvin Bragg's office is because of the mugshot. If that comes to be and comes to pass, then we'll know that it came directly from his office. And remember, leaking grand jury information is a crime, and you can't. It's a secret process and proceeding, and yet we've had a blow-by-blow of this case. And I think Alvin Bragg. I mean, the President Trump was sending truths about this last night as how that's criminal and he should be charged. I don't expect Alvin Bragg's going to enforce the laws on himself. But obviously, this is a grave concern as we move forward in this case.
Well, there are a lot of crimes that we talk about all the time that get no attention. I mean, influence peddling is a crime, right? Dealing with your adversary, accepting money from your adversary and enriching your family is a crime. A crime is also deleting 30,000 classified emails, coming up with a lie that your opponent colluded with an adversary and then, ramming it through federal agencies and the FBI moving it through across the world, letting it go viral. It seems like a crime. None of that is getting any attention. President Trump posted on Truth Social last night, and he's accusing DA Alvin Bragg of illegal leaks. He writes, quote, if he wants to really clean up his reputation, he will do the honorable thing and as DA indict himself, Matt. I mean, obviously, Donald Trump is saying what he wants to say, but I think there are broader issues here that the American people are questioning the entire judicial system. This is not healthy for America.
Yeah, Maria. I think there's two issues here. You point out the two-tiered system of justice. That is very clear as you lay out some of the evidence, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, the Biden family, Hillary Clinton, and, all of the crimes that have been and the investigations that are going nowhere. But I also think we need to realize that we're in the middle of the left's weaponization of really all the institutions. I think the Department of Justice has been weaponized. Now we have local DA's offices weaponized. Obviously, Congress has been weaponized. We saw that in both impeachment hoaxes. And so, everywhere we turn, the left is advancing. We keep hearing about how all these unprecedented things are happening, especially to Donald Trump. But remember, once Trump is done and out of the way, and the left's, dream is they're going to turn all of these new tools against the rest of us. And so, I think this weaponization by the left of these institutions and the fact that they can't be fair and impartial in any of the application of these powers, I think is very concerning for the future of the Republic. And, we're probably going to be talking about this well into the future, not just in Donald Trump's case.
Well, the history books will not be kind to the bad actors in all of this, and that includes the media. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is now sending a warning to Trump supporters who plan on protesting today. Watch this.
While there may be some rabble-rousers thinking about coming to our city tomorrow, our message is clear and simple. Control yourselves. New York City is our home, not a playground for your misplaced anger. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is known to spread misinformation and hate speech, she stated she's coming to town. While you're in town, be on your best behavior.
Wow, singling out a sitting congresswoman, Matt, and no word about all the misinformation every day coming out of this White House and this president.
Well, remember, I mean, the left is always trying to disarm Republicans and people that support Donald Trump from their First Amendment rights. And, this is a very chilling statement by, someone in authority that controls the New York City police. And he's saying, essentially, not just you're free to exercise your First Amendment, but we're watching you. And if you step out of line, we're going to come down on you like a box of rocks. I mean, I'm obviously this is the center of the universe today, what's happening to Donald Trump. But the fact that the left doesn't want those of us that disagree with what Alvin Bragg's doing to speak out, I think is, not only chills free speech, but again, it demonstrates this two-tiered system of justice and a weaponization that, it's not going to serve the left when the shoe's on the other foot.
Yeah. So how do we get out of this? I mean, there's a story today that the daughter of the judge overseeing this case worked for Kamala Harris's campaign. Matt, I mean, it just never stops. The Gateway pundit is saying that this person, the daughter of the judge overseeing Trump's case, worked for Kamala Harris's campaign, and now she has a company that has a Biden-Harris campaign as a client. I mean, the connections are incredible. How do we get out of this weaponization situation that we are in, clearly?
Well, it's going to take statesmen and stateswomen that are willing to actually stand in the gap. Both sides, it's the voices from the left. There are none right now speaking out against this abuse of power. I hope that some of them see the light and ultimately do speak out as to what's happening to our country, because, again, this is the thing is that in every turn, it seems like there are people that have been inserted into the process that, wield their power against Republicans and conservatives. And, we need people on both sides that are willing to call balls and strikes and not just try to be partisan and win elections.
Matt, real quick before you go, do you think this stops Donald Trump from running for president in 2024?
Absolutely not.
I mean, these cases will take a long time. Absolutely not. I mean, this is going to take a long time. This is going into the season, the election season. The first GOP primary debate is in 4 months, in August.
Well, and that's why the judge today cannot issue a gag order, because that will suppress President Trump's First Amendment rights as a candidate running for president. And so if that happens, I think while we keep crossing these Rubicons, I think that will really be a problem for the long term of our republic. Because if we're gagging presidential candidates so they can't speak out, that's a real problem.
You will be arrested and you will shut up about it. Unbelievable. Matt, thanks very much. We'll keep talking about it. Matt Whitaker joining us this morning.